Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here. Tank12 having to call me. I don't really care. Welcome back to Advent Calendar Day 12 of the Christmas event. And this time they have the Lansen C in the repertoire. So yesterday we had the STRV 81, and I wasn't sure if the STRV 81 was going to be the only Swedish medium tank that they are going to be selling. Turns out that is not the case. They're selling the Lansen C. And the Lansen C you can get for 7,100 gold. It's also a tank that has no discount, so this is a vehicle that you cannot buy in the Tech Tree premium store because it doesn't exist. So if you want to pick this up, today is probably one of the few times where you can get it. So let's take a look at the Lansen C. What makes it different from the Primo Victoria or the STRV 81, which are both the same tank? Well, the Lansen C has a 105mm gun, if I recall correctly. Let me just pick the... Yeah, it's a 105mm gun, which does 320 alpha, which used to be the standard tier 8 heavy tank alpha damage for tier 8 heavy vehicles, and it combines some very nice things in this gun. The penetration of 208mm is enough to allow you quite a bit of flexibility. You have 10 degrees of gun depression, you have decent DPM, your aim time is good, your dispersion isn't too bad. So this tank, all in all, the gun itself that you're carrying is a very nice addition to the Swedish tier 8 verse. This is probably one of the vehicles that I've liked the most the last 2 years because it couples a very good gun with almost no armor. You have basically only 60mm at the front. The turret is only 70mm thick at the front and the side and 40 on the rear. So anything that starts shooting high explosive with more than 80mm of pen will probably be able to make your day a living hell. That also includes artillery. I've been one shot in this tank, not once, not twice, but 3 times with an arty piece that I had to go up against in tier 10. Now, that is something you have to keep in mind. That is one of the biggest downsides to the Lansen C. It doesn't have any armor. But what does it have? It has mobility. It has a lot of mobility. Look at that specific power to weight ratio, 31.2 horsepower per ton. That is what you get with the right equipment. This tank is really, really rapid. It accelerates very quickly, and its traverse speed is decent, it's okay, but if you compare it to other medium tanks, that is on the medium to lower spectrum. But either way, the top speed could be better, but if you use the turbocharger, you get 55 kilometers per hour, and that will get you from point A to B rapid enough, because you have very good specific power to weight, so you'll gain the speed very, very quickly. That is something to keep in mind. Concealment wise, this tank is a medium tank. I do have a camo net on it, and I did train my crew a bit in the terms of camouflage. So this tank can be camoed up if you take away the equipment, the camo net, which I do right now. You can see that the camo values are still pretty good. 546 points just with the crew and the camouflage that I have on it, or the 3D skin, or the skin. Spotting wise, this tank is not the best. I think it's 380 base view range. Yes, it's 380 base view range on this vehicle. If you use the right skills and if you use the right equipment, for example, you could put coated optics on this vehicle because the gun handling on this tank is pretty good. You don't really need anything. You can put that on and you can extend the capabilities of this vehicle even more. So, is this worth picking up? Is this a good tank? Now, the Lansen C and the STRV 81, they are probably the two contesters, or the two contesters of tier 8 Swedish premium medium tank. And I would say every single time I would go for the Lansen C. The Primo Victoria or the STRV 81 is a great tank. It has a lot of good features such as very good gun handling, a high rate of fire, and all around decent mobility, decent armor, decent spotting range. but it doesn't have any real feature that makes it stand out. And it's a Centurion. You can play that when you play the British, to be fair. Now the Lansen C, on the other hand, is a vehicle that you can play and you can adapt to, which allows you to be a very aggressive flanking medium tank that can also fare okay at medium distances. Not at long range, because look at that dispersion, it's not the best. But at medium ranges, medium to close ranges, and if you're able to be a support vehicle and go to the sides, you can really do a lot of damage with this tank, because having that 320 alpha, which extends all the way to 400, is really nice, especially when you go up against vehicles that are just as badly armored as you are. You'll be able to do quite a bit of damage. Now the rate of fire is not the best. Yes, 6.96 rounds per minute. I'm not using the right equipment to up my my rate of fire to a max, but still, you can make this tank work. This is a lot more fun in my book. This is worth a lot more than the Primo Victoria, and you save 2,000 gold as well if you buy this. Because this tank can be concealed decently enough. If you have the right equipment, you can get enough spotting to be able to spot for yourself. If you use the right equipment as well, you can get the best out of the mobility. And the gun itself is really, really nice. It's a lot of fun to use. So hopefully that was a good overview and short enough. And think about the Lansen C. This is a great vehicle to have for the Swedish medium tanks, and I've really enjoyed this tank a lot.